makes a difference. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. Is the podcast on processing information or not?
Yeah. Some processing information. So yeah, so zooming out a little bit.
Yeah.
And whoever come in, I'm just gonna go ahead and start it because I've already posted on my Facebook already. I was posting, need to post on my Instagram too, real quick, and then we'll just start. The main people I wanted in here was you and Jose. Claire, she's just here for a listener. And I'm actually gonna put this on YouTube and everything. So remember, we talked about yesterday. This information that we're transferring, I think more people need to hear it. So it's not so much about money or monetizing it. It's more about just these conversations we're having could help some poor kid in Alabama get through a bad day. So it's more for that reason.
All right. So
This,
recap.
yeah,
So recap.
okay.
Before we start the podcast, just verify one more time so that way we can stay consistent. You know,
Yeah,
with
okay.
all that.
Verify the topic one more time.
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
up,
Just a quick run.
Sky?
What's up, Sky? You in here? Might as
Hey,
well join
hey.
us in the stage, Sky. Just join in. The topic
Hey, what's up,
processing.
guys?
Yeah, hey, Sky. The
What's
process
good?
processing information is just basically people who can process information better tend to have a more just more peaceful life, a more financially stable life, a more just stable life in general with relationships, friendships, every kind of ship. Think about it. A ship will sink if it's not stabilized. Processing your ability to process information is kind of directly connected to your success in life. And like I
I see
said,
what you mean.
yeah, I think there's a direct connection there.
So it
Direct.
processes information in all aspects, pretty much. You know,
Yeah.
even
Right now, if I say
even career.
Jose, yeah, if I say, hey man, I just it goes back to Tristan. I used him for an example. He was like, man, how do I make money from my music? I said, well, first you need to get it copyrighted. Well, get your name
Right.
trademarked. Get your music, send it to a distributor. After that, it helps to get a publicist. After you get your publicist, maybe a record label might pick you up, but if not, you can still use advertising from YouTube and you can boost your stuff on Facebook and Instagram and blah blah blah, right? After the end, when I was done talking with him, he seemed dumbfounded, and he was just like, "Okay." He said, "I don't have the money for all that." Right then is when I realized he only needed about $50 for everything I said. However, he couldn't process that information. He was more thinking about how much money he needed when that conversation was not about money. It's about hustle, right? And that's what sparked this conversation. Like, and I broke it down to him. I said, Tristan, man, you only need about 50, $75 for this, man. And the fact that he was overthinking it to a point where he overthought it to a point where none of it made sense to him anymore. So that's also not good when you overthink
Oh
things to a
yeah.
point where you're hurting yourself. And I've seen that a lot. Yeah. Yeah. Anybody can take the mic from there, but yeah.
I'm glad I'm in here, and I want to say hello to Dren, Claire, Geefii, and Jose. I want to say hi to all of you guys.
Hi Sky, how you doing?
I'm
Yeah,
doing good. How
yeah.
are you? How are you, dude? How is it going?
And just sliding in, just waking up.
Yeah.
And of course, Dren, how are you?
I'm
Man.
doing fine. And Claire, thank you for that. That was very that was thank you. And you know what? End of the day, we just here to help everybody um be better people. We all every day we strive to be better people. And our intent is not to hurt anybody, to shame anybody, belittle anybody, to make anybody feel bad. Everybody in here, most of us are empaths. We're just trying to get from one day to the next. Sky, real. That's only our
Yes,
intention to help each other get from one day to.
exactly. And I actually do have something to say, but I don't know if it's the right time.
Go ahead, Sky. Go ahead.
Are you
Go
sure,
ahead.
Dren?
Sure. Your mic is
Okay.
yours.
All
Yeah.
right. I just want to say that for anyone who was in the room Sunday when I came in, I am really sorry for the way I acted. I was upset, and I shouldn't have taken it on you guys, and I apologize.
That's some good information processing right there. There you go.
And also, I do think I'll be leaving the app for a while because I am working with my psychologist. I texted her, and she and I will be working on a new way to help me, like with my mental health. So in the meantime, I will be leaving. I just wanted to come on and say hi to everyone and Dren, of course. But I wanted to say that I will miss being in this room, but I do have to leave this app for certain mental health reasons.
I hope everything goes good for you, Sky. I really mean that.
Thank you. It will. I need more help, and she's going to be getting me the more help that I need.
Take care of yourself.
Jen, I will keep in contact with you. Okay?
Hey, Sky, before you go,
Yeah.
you're making me smile right now. I'm not gonna lie. Yesterday, I almost never talked to you ever again. We don't need to get into that. No apologies needed. I just want to state that. And I went from that to like, I got you my prayers, and I hope you get the help that you need. And then we're still here. Nobody in this group, just because you ask, I'm only saying this because some of the people in this group, nobody's mad at you. Nobody hates you. It's nothing but love. From and me, I'm speaking on behalf of everybody from the whole crew. Okay, I'm speaking for everybody. I think I'm qualified. Nobody hates you. It's nothing but love. We all hope that you get better, and whatever that means to you, we ain't got to get into it. We all praying for you, and we all hope you get better. It's nothing but love here. Like I said, we just trying to get from one day to the next. We love you. It probably would be good for you to get off Clubhouse for a while, and God bless you. And when you come back, we'll be right here waiting for you. Okay?
I love you guys so much. I will see you guys when I'm in a better mental
Yeah.
state.
Hey, good blessings in your recovery. Okay?
Thanks, Jen. I'll keep in contact with you. And Geefii, Jose, Claire, good luck with all of you guys, and I will talk to you guys in a few months probably.
Okay.
No problem. Thank you so
God
much.
bless you.
You're welcome. Goodbye.
Oh, she was crying at the end.
Yeah, I heard it. Poor girl, man.
I want you guys to know she did feel really bad, man. And I won't get into all that, but yeah, she felt bad. She was like, "Is everybody mad at me?" And I was like, "No." I said, "Keep it real." I didn't name drop all y'all like that. It's just like, yo, I said, you know, my crew, we keep it trill, like we cool. I said, don't come in with all that extra. Like, we welcome everybody with open arms until we don't.
Exactly. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. Hell yeah. Until we don't. That's what's up.
You know how we are, man. We welcome everybody, don't we, Chief? Hey, come on in, dog. You come in here doing that extra shit, though. There you go. It's very swiftly. It happens. Like most of the people. I remember the other day when the girl was talking to. Anyway, we'll be. But back on the topic. But you know what? I'm glad she came here because I'm actually doing the podcast already. The fact that she was able to process the information I gave her yesterday, right? And come here today and take the time to apologize to you guys. That's exactly my point. And because of that, she's a better person, right?
Yeah, that's a huge turnaround. I mean, like for you to actually process that and then actually accept responsibility, that's actually like processing that information of like, okay, I messed up, and then I'm gonna try to fix it. I'm gonna make amends. There's something, going right with that for sure. And then the fact that she's gonna say that, she's gonna better herself and stuff. That's great, man. That's awesome.
Better resort do you want,
Exactly.
you know? And it also took some discipline to not lash out at her because I really kind of wanted to lash out at her. But I say, okay, so it's on both ends, man. Processing information is I had to process the information because as soon as she came into the room, not gonna lie, I was about to block her. I said, stop and process. Okay. When I let her talk, that was a better ending for all of us, right? Versus cutting her off, preaching to her. I say, you know what, Autumn, go ahead, because this is all I ever asked her in the first place. Talk in front of everybody. I don't like to have to back channel conversations. Talk in front of people. When I let her talk, you see, she's actually probably gonna be a better person because of us. And that's don't lose sight of the reason why it's important to process information. Because you always get a good ending result.
Exactly, and the fact like okay, back channeling. A lot of people do that, on Clubhouse and stuff like that. When there's a group of people, we can communicate. The whole point of the platforms to communicate. But you know what you did there too, is that now she can kind of spice up her social skills. Because there's a lot of people that are shy. I used to be hella shy in front of like talking to a lot of people on here, and then like I kind of sharpen up my social skills. I'm kind of the introverted type. So I took advantage of that. Of that information, and I'm just studying. And yeah, it helped a lot with my social skills for sure.
Yeah, man. And at her age, she's still developing. So that kind of made the podcast right there. It's so funny. I started the podcast, and then she just popped in here out of nowhere. That kind of proves my point. The importance of processing information. Because if she was not able to process what I was telling her yesterday, she would not have came and apologized. She would not be seeking counsel. She would be sitting there still miserable because she's been miserable for a long time. And yeah, and the fact that I could hear that she was crying when she got off of here, that means we reached her heart. You don't
Yeah,
just
it's
cry
never,
for no reason.
yeah, it's never easy to apologise and to do it in public like that. Hopefully, she will be able to get the help she needs and move on and be happier for it. But that took some guts, just acknowledging that she was in the wrong. It's never easy.
Exactly.
Yeah, real spit, real spit, and that right there is she actually kind of made the podcast. We didn't even get into the conversation, but that's a clear example of what I was talking about.
Yeah, it's a good start. Definitely a good
Yeah,
start.
that actually made the podcast right there. And and moving on, if we're zooming out a little further, if you apply that to everything in your life, though, man, like so, I can tell you the game plan to get your bag, man. But if you can't process the information, um, it's just what I'm saying. Process people don't they take that for granted, the ability to process information. I can tell you $1 million plan, but if you can't execute the plan, guess what? Nothing happens because you can't process. So how do you teach people how to process information? It deals directly with insight. So the next question is, how do you give people the insight? How do you give people insight?
With the
G5,
podcast.
Jose. Perfect answer. Yeah, that's all I want. Yeah, insight. Right now, we're sharing insight, and you guys might be 10 years from now, it could be 20 years from now. You're in a situation, and you might remember the situation with Sky. Like, damn it! Instead of me being so aggressive, let me just give her a little headspace. Sometimes you need to give people space to process the information. So sometimes you give somebody information. Remember G5 earlier was talking about process it quickly. Sometimes just let people process at their own pace, right? I told her this information yesterday. She just now replying the next day. I gave her space to process the information. So that's the second component to, sharing insight, sharing information. Give them time to process. Apply that to everything. You could be a supervisor when your employees. You might have to reprimand them, right? Give them time to process the write up. Give your girlfriend time to process what you feel. Give people fucking space to think sometimes. Don't be so demanding. That's the second part to people and their ability to process information. The information is one thing, right? But it's how you're presenting it, be presenting them the information is a whole nother thing. It's the difference between saying G5, imagine your girl saying, G5, hey honey, can you take the trash out? Versus G5, can you take the trash out? Damn, nigga. See the difference? All she was asking him was take the trash out, but you see how the different way you said it affected you differently and affected how you process that information, right? Because if you process the information with anxiety, how effective is the information? Versus, oh hey honey, I'll do it for you. I love to take the trash out for my lady, my
You
wife,
know what
right?
about that though? One of those dignifies like, all right, I'm gonna handle it, and the other one dignifies, oh, she want a response. Like one is like, I'm gonna just do it and be like, all right, and the other one is like, now we gotta have extra dialogue in between the task that was just
Right,
easily, you know what I mean, and then never knows
right,
what what's gonna happen with that dialogue, in between just the simple task, you know.
yeah. And
That's
yeah,
hella true. Yeah.
that's real spit, man. And I think this is directly. Everybody wants to text me right now. It's directly man, and all this ties. Man, I don't do just bullshit podcasts. The reason I'm so stuck on this processing information thing, I think that's the main reason a lot of people fail in life. When I say fail in life, that means you didn't achieve what you personally thought you could achieve. That don't mean you have to be a superstar, a rock star. You didn't have the life you lived. I mean, you didn't live the life that you wanted because you couldn't process the information. How do we break that barrier down to open up communication? A lot of it has to do with body language, right? Body language is a biggie, biggie, biggie that a lot of people don't really, really, really pay attention to. Like if your girl is talking to you and her hands are on her hips, right? It doesn't matter what she's saying, you're going to interpret that as she has a fucking attitude, right? If she drops her hands off her hips, you're going to actually listen to what she's saying, right? There you go. Body language is the biggest, like, don't listen to what a woman is saying. Pay attention to her body language. That says it all. Body language is the one thing about a woman that doesn't lie. Process what I just said. The eyes rolling. If you with a woman, her eyes are rolling all the time, there's a problem. If her hands are on the hips all the time, there's a problem. If she's talking to you like, take the trash out, there's a problem. And deals, she's not respecting you at that point. If a woman rolls her eyes at you, to me personally, that's one of the biggest signs of disrespect.
That's just an alpha stance. You know what I mean? It depends on who is
Any
who.
stance. No one should be rolling
Yeah.
their eyes at anybody.
No, I mean,
G5. Don't
you
defend that
know,
shit.
no, it's not it's not a defense. You know what I mean? You got to look at it. See, you always say don't defend something. It's not a defend something. It's who are you. Most of the time, if you look at any of the
G5.
alpha relationships, look, most of the time, if you look at any of these alpha relationships, the person or it's called quote unquote the survivor. They had to grow into being wanted to be put up there or bringing themselves to the front to be put up there or respected that way. In all the other ways, they just allowed it to be until something happened where they were like, oh, now I have to take a stand. It is that way. And it's that way for females and it's that way for men at the same time. Men are in those relationships, women are in the relationships. In one way or the other, there's going to be something in not in all relationships, but there's going to be something in most relationships where they're going to be like, I'm not going to I don't want her talking to me like that. Or oh, I don't have to do it. There's gonna be there is that there's that line in the relationship that you're allowing to be crossed. Why? Because that's a line you applied there. It's up to the person on the other side to accept whether they want that line to be crossed or whether the line is drawn. You know what I mean? There's a drawn line and then there's a line that you create.
Yeah, it's tolerance. That's what you're kind of going for, right? G5, like tolerance.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
and everyone
Tolerance.
does have different tolerance levels. So everyone process that information with body language, like you were saying, differently because everyone does have different, you know, tolerance. And yeah, that's true. Kind of what G5 say. I kind of agree with that too. It's like it does vary because we can have our own ideas of like, how we process that body language. Someone rolls their eyes. Like, are you gonna get mad or you're not? It depends on every person. One person's gonna get mad, and three people are gonna be okay with it. They just ignore it. So
Yeah, see, I love these kind of conversations. All right. Me personally, if my woman rolls her eyes at me, I take it as disrespectful. And this is why. I feel like that communication should be in words. Like if she doesn't agree with me, say, I don't agree with you, instead of rolling your eyes. I don't like that kind of because I don't do that to people. Okay, so G5, you might be okay with that, and Jose, but I'm not being with no woman who thinks it's okay to roll her eyes at me, but I will be okay with a woman who wants to communicate with me effectively in a positive way. Like I'm okay with a woman disagreeing with me, but I'm not okay with my woman rolling her eyes at me. But that's my personal choice. Because to me, that's disrespectful. But teach his own, right?
yeah, like what G5 was saying too. It's like everyone does have a different tolerance. To you, it doesn't make like it doesn't make it wrong. Like what you're saying. And, like everyone has that slight truth to like how they are, to the core values and stuff like that, and you don't tolerate that. You have a very strong personality, so Other people, it just depends on other people, man, whether they're gonna put up with it. To me, I don't take it that seriously. Someone rolls their eyes at me, like I don't really take it that seriously, man. Even if it's my girl, sometimes, because sometimes they get annoyed with my ass, you know. So,
Well,
so
I mean, I don't Jose, don't you agree there's a better way to communicate than rolling eyes? That's all I'm going here, man. Don't you think there's a better way to communicate than rolling eyes? Man, that's all I'm going. It's just
I
say
mean,
I don't agree with you. Just say I'm upset. Just say I'm angry. We're rolling the eyes. Like I said, I'm a big body language person. You feel me? I don't.
okay, all right.
I rather words than by bad body language. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, how about this though? Because I've been, we all been in relationships before. And so, what if like when your girl did like really, it's not rolling their eyes, but they kind of like, the shoulders down and like really kind of like that face. Are you like, can you tolerate that at least, or what?
Well, I don't want to go microscopic with this. It's just I'm just zoom out a little further. Just I just feel like communication is key. And going back to the topic of the room, processing information, it makes it
Right.
difficult to process information if a woman is rolling her eyes at you or flicking her hair and flicking her neck. It just makes communicating a little difficult versus just express how you feel. You don't have to roll your eyes. Just talk to me. That's all I'm going, Jose. We all got a certain level of tolerance. I'm not trying to be a dictator in a relationship. If that's where we're going, that's so not where I'm going.
No, no,
Right?
no, no,
I'm
no.
just trying to say that it's a better way to communicate, right? Because when you communicate better, it's easier to process the information. Like if my woman tells me something while she's rolling her eyes, I'm not going to process the information. If she says, "Hey, I don't agree with you, and this is how I feel," I can process the information. You see the difference? That's all I'm talking about. I'm not trying to go microscopic.
No, it's all good. Yeah,
The,
I
the,
mean,
the, the delivery of the information is very important, as important as the actual information.
well, if someone rolled their eyes at me, I'm processing that pretty damn quick because it's obvious where they're at. I can process that
Well,
information pretty
I'm
damn
just
quick.
saying, if you're
But I know
trying
what you
to,
mean.
yeah, in the context of trying to problem solve, if there's a issue, you're not going to solve the issue with all the bad body language, the eyes rolling, because I'm just saying it affects how you process information. It's the difference between me saying, Jose, man, fuck you, dog. Right. Jose, fuck you, nigga. You see the difference? Most
Yeah,
of,
of course.
and
Tones,
I was
tones,
playing with
everything,
you on
man.
both ends, right? But one hit different because you're gonna process the information different. Like, oh, that last one, you're like,
Well,
oh, this nigga on some gangster shit,
if I
right?
if I was processing
You
that
know,
information, one of them hurt more. That's for damn fucking sure.
and that's all I'm saying. It's not a control thing. It's not a trying to dominate a woman. It could go woman, man, either way. It's just processing information is so important to how we go about our lives, man. Because if you can't process the information given to you, where do you go from there? Everything that we do, someone's done it before. Jose, whatever you do for a living, someone's done it before, right? Someone taught you everything you know. That's a fact. You too, G5, you too, Claire. Everything you guys know, whether it's a teacher or a parent, whoever, you were taught everything you know. So you had to process that information to become who you are now. What if you couldn't process that information? You would not be who you are now. And that's all this is about.
And
The
process.
importance of processing information and the ability is affected by a lot of elements. And I'm just talking about the elements that prevent people from processing information properly to live their best life. I'm sorry, go ahead, Jose.
No, I wanted you to finish, but um, for sure, man. Like you're totally right, and also too, what I gotta bring up too, because I pretty much know all you guys on here, and we all had rough lives, man, and that does help you really process information a lot faster than most people who kind of had it easy, and so that's what I'm saying. It's like sometimes some people can't really process information as fast because it's like they didn't live certain lifestyles or they didn't live a traumatic
Yeah,
life or something like that, and so it,
yeah,
it makes you grow up faster. You get what I'm saying? Especially when
yeah,
you grow up in the streets, man, and you grow up in the
yeah,
streets, you witness violence or like however, like you grew up poor and you're trying to make it. You have big dreams. Well, you're gonna process stuff a lot faster because you're a lot
Yeah,
more street smart. You know how to take care of yourself, to be careful from certain people. You get, so
yeah,
like let's say you're trying to make it in the music business, right? So having that street smart teaches you a lot, man. And so I think that's an advantage for some people too. They can process that information a lot faster. They have more of a blueprint.
yeah. Most deaf, man. You get it. You totally get it, man.
Right.
And yeah, G5, you feel that shit though, man. You feel that, man.
No, it's most definitely
That's
true
a big
because
deal, man.
a lot of the people that I rubbed elbows with, it lets you know, like, okay, some people are like the donkey. You know what I mean? You can smack it, move it. If it don't want to move, it's not gonna move. Some people are like the horse, and they go, I'm gone. Like, you know what I mean? And it's like depending on the situation you in is where you gonna decide what you want to be or who you are in that moment. You know what I mean? Like you'll enter a situation and you decide, oh, am I gonna be an actor or is this really me? You know what I mean? Some people have been in circumstances where there's circumstances where it's really them, and they're not gonna take nothing from the situation that ain't real. They're not gonna take nothing from nobody. And then there's certain people that's gonna walk into a situation and they're gonna be more analytical. Like, I see what's going on here. I'm not about that, or I don't want that friction, and they're gonna turn the other cheek. And in situations like that, being in music is different because you meet a lot of people that are actually just like in Santa Cruz. What's the name of the store? The Starving Musician. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
They're out here. They're hungry. They're out with the wolves. You know what I mean? So when you out here with the wolves, you got to learn how to survive amongst the wolves, or you always gonna be coming to the bones, licking the bones. You know what I mean? And you don't want to be licking the bones. You want to get to the meat out here. And so you have to realize who you rubbing shoulders with, who are the alphas in the game. Yeah, I mean, if you just watch Squid Games, you notice not to get deep into that show, but just the episode where I mean, there's a lot of episodes with them, but it's the bully, and specifically the episode where they got back in line and they took those last guys' food. Now, the only difference with that is that one guy had to stand up for himself while everybody watched. In some situations, everybody's not going to watch that one guy stand up for himself. Everybody's going to be like, hey, that was wrong. And they're all going to make a move. Some people are going to be like, oh, well, let's see what happens and let's see what plays out. You don't know in what circle are those circumstances always going to be the same, where somebody might want to stand up for you, and where somebody might want to just see what plays out. So you're going to want to take it more carefully in how you move. That's why it's like it's not good to be an actor. Now, I'm not saying that the acting won't push you into being something that you have locked inside, but it's saying, hey, choose when to be bulletproof. Yeah, I mean, that's all you have to do. You have to choose when to be bulletproof. Choose when you know, hey, this is a situation where I'm right.
You can clap
Yeah,
for that one.
exactly. That's what's up.
Yeah, man. Real shit. Real shit. And real. I mean, end of the day, man. The reason I love these kind of conversations because there's a lot of people. And I know a lot of them. Been in LA, man. I got friends that's homeless. Y'all know what it is. And I try to teach them how to process information. I've helped a lot of people. Just doesn't matter how many, but there's a lot of people I've helped. People that are homeless, that are no longer homeless, that I've helped. I've done my thing. I know I got my angel wings waiting on me. However, the main thing that I realized, the main problem with the people like downtown LA and all that, they don't know how to process information. Like a lot of veterans, I'm a veteran, right? I'll tell veterans all the time, like, yo, go to the VA, sign up for this, sign up for that. And they're just homeless, right? They can't process the information I give them. They have a great life just waiting for them. They can't process the information that's going to, um, make that's a reality. And that's why I take that to heart, the whole processing. Like, I feel like I'm blessed, and you guys are blessed for being able to process information. Because what makes me different than the next guy? Nothing. I just can process information better than most people that I know. That's the only reason why I have the life that I have. Is because I have the ability to process information in a way that's directly connected to my success. I'm not even that great of a rapper. I just know how to process information. I live my dream life only solely because I know how to process information. Nothing more, nothing less. So anyway, yo, that's the end of this podcast. G5. I'm about to put this on YouTube. Whoop, whoop. Everybody check. This is the first podcast. Everybody, we're gonna be doing this weekly. We just do this together. Jose, thank you for pulling up. G5, thanks for pulling up. Claire, she just up in here listening. Gabby, oh yo, we can't end it yet. Gabby's here. Gabby,
Oh,
come
here
on
we
up.
go.
Perfect timing.
Here
You get to
we
make the
go.
podcast. Come on up, Gab. Let's wait for her to get in here. See, that way she gets to make the podcast. Gabby, come on up. Is she not coming up on purpose? Gabby, come up. This is my first podcast. You got to come up. There
This
you
is what
go.
G5 was waiting for sure.
Hey, hey.
Y'all, this is my first official podcast. It's going on YouTube. Gabby, say hi. Well, it says she's on the phone. Oh, I see it.
Yeah, she on the phone.
I wait for her to get off. But yeah, y'all, like this is I'm gonna put this on YouTube. Like, and it's just not. I'm just doing it. I think the stuff we talk about more of the youth needs to hear this shit, man. We talk about some heavy shit sometimes. It's like, wow, I wish my dad would have told me this shit. And I just want the word to be spread. So that's why I was like, you know what? I told G5 yesterday, said, man, we got to start doing some podcasts on here, man. You know, because there's no way that we should be talking all this knowledge amongst ourselves. We need to pass this shit on. And I think that's what's wrong with half these badass kids. They're not the parents are not passing the information on. Gabby, are you with us now?
Yes,
What's
hello.
up? This is my first podcast. You just made it. It's about to go on YouTube. I wanted you to
Oh,
say hi to everybody.
hi.
Hey, Gabby.
What's up with it?
Hi. Okay, G5, he said me, not you. I didn't want to talk to you. Um,
Look, here we go.
I love it. I love it.
hello. Dren, I got a question.
Sure.
You were on live earlier on Instagram. What was happening?
You know what? That's a whole nother conversation.
I was like, okay.
Yo, we good. We good. We
But hello, Claire, and
good.
Jose.
Hey, Gabby. So right
Hello,
now, like,
Gabby.
Hi, love.
hey, all to my people in Arkansas and Texas, these is my crew. Like, everybody's not in here, but Gabby, Claire, Jose, G5, all my niggas in Arkansas, North Carolina, New York. These my niggas. So, y'all, this is my first podcast. This is y'all. As you guys can see, I made some mistakes on the video. But these are my core people, and we got more people. Hey, Gabby, so this is gonna be on YouTube in about 40 minutes. So whenever I do these podcasts, it'll say podcast, just so you know when you come in my groups. I'm not just putting shit on YouTube. It's just when they say podcast, just know that it's going on YouTube. So this is the way I want to start my new podcast on Clubhouse because I get the best conversations here. So this is I'm gonna use this as my new platform. Welcome, Gabby. You made it.
Cool, cool.
You
This is
barely made
nice.
it. Shit.
He was
Yeah.
literally saying he was gonna end it, and then you just came up for
Well,
sure.
you can end it because I'm about to jump back out. I'm driving ish and doing something else. I'm like triple multitasking kind of.
Yeah,
Triple
yeah. Follow the
multitasking.
road laws. Follow the road laws.
G5, what did I say about you talking to me?
All right. That's what's up. We're gonna wrap this episode. This is episode 1 of the Whoopty Whoop podcast, y'all.
Whoop de whoop.
Take care. Holla at the kid. Dren Khaleesi's from the West Coast. We out, baby. Holla at the kid.